He is pulling in now in his tiny Fiat, and in fact I can see the beginning of the motorcade from my vantage point. The back windows of his Fiat are rolled down and people are cheering and waving and snapping photos.
We can see him through the window as he waves from the back seat.
Yes, and he will be greeted by the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, and Vice President Joe Biden. John Boehner, one of 11 kids who went to Mass every day, trying to get Pope here for 20 years. So people said he's like a schoolboy today. He is so excited. And can you hear the crowd cheering? Oh, there he is. There's the Pope. He waved. And he is going to be greeted here at the House door by the Vice President and the Speaker of the House. Make no mistake, this is historic to have His Holiness here in the United States Capitol under a great deal of security.
And Norah, what a moment for John Boehner today. It must be a very emotional moment. I know I just heard you say he feels very giddy, but he must be feeling very emotional as someone who grew up Catholic and practiced the faith religiously.
Incredibly emotional, and we have seen John Boehner has been granted 5 tickets because he is the Speaker of the House. So he will have members of his family here with him, as well as others. But yes, I do think it's an emotional day for him as a Catholic and someone who's worked for 20 years. Can you imagine 20 years ago sending his first letter to get a Pope here, and the realization of this dream and what it will mean? And just at a difficult time for him, quite frankly. You know, he's dealing with almost a government shutdown next week and a restless Republican caucus, some of whom want to replace him in his current job. But this is a moment of unity here on Capitol Hill, a rare moment of unity as Pope Francis is set to make about a speech that some are saying could be about 30 minutes in length.
One of the interesting things is how different members of Congress have chosen who to give their allotment of tickets. John Boehner has given 2 of his to the former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, and his wife, who is a Catholic. As we see now, there is the Speaker of the House with great anticipation, with this, it looks like a green tie as he thinks about what he's going to say and do, and his heart, I'm sure, is beating fast, as he has invited other Catholic popes to come, and this is the one who came.
Charlie, they're already talking, everybody knows John Boehner to be a very emotional man, and they're saying they're taking bets on how long before you see tears, before you see tears. You know, he got 5 tickets, as Norah pointed out. Everybody else got 1 ticket today.
And including in those tickets is the parent of his chief of staff who died. Okay. It's like they're telling him what's going on as he waits. You got to imagine. Look at that. You got to imagine that he is feeling as much emotion for this moment as you can possibly think.
And Charlie and Gayle, I should tell you, after this meeting here, he will enter the House chamber. After the address, he's going to walk through Statuary Hall, passing in front of a statue of Juniper Serra. That is actually who he canonized just yesterday. This is, of course, one of 2 figures in the Capitol representing California. The other is President Reagan. But the Serra statue shows him staring towards the heaven with a cross in his hand. And many people credit him with bringing Catholicism to many in the West.
Norah, what is the room that the Speaker is standing in right now? There are a lot of chairs. What is going to happen here?
This is a ceremonial room that the Speaker of the House has, and so this is just for sort of a small meet and greet, a photo opportunity before, and a light exchange of welcomes before he enters into the House chamber for this joint meeting of Congress, which will have both members from the House of Representatives and from the Senate, as well as some invited guests.
Is the Vice President going to greet him, the Pope, in this room?
Yes, the Pope, he is going to greet the Pope in this room. Nancy Cordes is also with me here on Capitol Hill. Nancy, you've been with the Speaker recently. I mean, this is a moment for him personally.
And you can tell just looking at his face, Norah, that this is a moment for him. I mean, this is a man who has cried in an interview on the Golf Channel. He cries at statue unveilings. He is an emotional person. I think he's cried twice on 60 Minutes. And so you can see him here, clearly trying to hold it together. But I think this is one instance where he or anyone from the Catholic faith could be forgiven for crying in a public setting, because this is so meaningful for him. He has talked about the fact that when he was growing up, his family had two pictures on the wall, two portraits, one of President John F. Kennedy and one of the Pope. And that's why long before he was the Speaker of the House or even the leader of the Republican Party in Congress, he was trying to bring a Pope here to Capitol Hill. And he said very openly yesterday, he's not really sure what he's going to say to the Pope when he finally meets him in person. He's just looking forward to the opportunity. He'll have that special time for a couple of minutes, but then you see those chairs arrayed there. Then the other leaders will come in. Nancy Pelosi, who is also Catholic. You'll see the leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, Harry Reid, the leader of Democrats in the Senate, and Kevin McCarthy, who's the #2 Republican in the House of Representatives. They'll all be there as well. And there's the Pope now.
There he is. Pope Francis comes to see the Speaker before this historic address to the Congress.
Really glad that you're here.